Well, hey now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar and Grill. Without the grill, quite frankly, without the bar as well. Just serving up some stories for you of music and mayhem from the past. So this is part two of Show Me Your Tickets 8. And this is a section or a segment called New York Comes to Toronto. I mentioned in my first segment a couple well-known Elmocambo shows because I'm focusing on the Elmocambo here. Elvis Costello and the Rolling Stones in 1977. And didn't make either of those shows, but did go to the Elmocambo frequently and was a great venue. It wasn't actually a great venue, but what was really cool is it seemed to be a venue where people would come often, like really well-known artists would come. So I saw Lou Reed there during the Bells tour, and many other artists. So a lot of times you'd get to see people, Graham Parker and the Rumor, that would normally play bigger venues, but I think it was such a marquee place that sometimes they would play down to a smaller audience in the Elmocambo just for the prestige of having an Elmocambo show. And that certainly was true after the Stones played in '77, which really put the Elmocambo on the map. This particular one, part two, New York Comes to Toronto of Show Me Your Tickets 8, Blondie. So I'm going to do an insert of the ticket, but just show you, this was Blondie at the Elmocambo. A little shaky hand there. So Blondie, ticket price $5.50, tax included. Thursday, August 3rd, 1978. Wasn't the first time I saw Blondie. So the first time I saw Blondie was, I had the great fortune, one of my favorite stories is seeing Blondie open up for Iggy Pop with David Bowie on keyboards. I'm going to save that story for another Show Me Your Tickets because it's what I would call one of my defining moments in terms of how it changed how I looked at music and listened to music and what I was interested in listening to. But from that particular show, the one with Blondie with opening up for the for Iggy Pop, is that I bought this particular record. And, you know, for me, this first record is still my favorite Blondie record. It is an absolutely exquisite pop record. It's got that girl group quality, even though it's mostly just Debbie Harry singing, although there's some backup vocals, I think, by Ellie Greenwich, she was one of the girl groups from the 60s. But, you know, songs like Ex-Offender and Little Girl Lies and Look Good in Blue, Rip Her to Shreds. I actually almost like everything on this record, except I'm not so fond of the last two songs, so which is good because if you're, you can fade out and go do something else. But Kung Fu Girls and The Attack of the Giant Ants, a little too cheesy for me. But the rest of it was great. In the Sun, it's just beautiful production, fantastic. So having seen them at that show at the Seneca Fieldhouse in '77, I guess, I was buying their records, and I think this record was also out before so this is their second record, Plastic Letters, and this was out before I saw them at the Elmocambo. And this is also a really good record, also very pop. I'm Always Touched by Your Presence, Dear is really beautiful, Denis, but it still doesn't, to me, hold up to that first record. The first record is just fantastic. As Vinyl Richie would say, dude, it's just fantastic, dude. This came out later, but the Blondie catalog is really pretty cool. And this one, of course, had Heart of Glass. I was a bit of a music snob then. I'm a little bit less so now. And I think when they had the hit with Heart of Glass, which wasn't really my favorite song, I became much less interested in the band. But I ended up I was certainly a Debbie Harry fan, and it's a picture disc of Parallel Lines. It's kind of cool. I don't think I ever played it. Picture discs are famously not great, actually, in terms of listenability. And of course, it's got the collectability factor, and as well, Eat to the Beat, which is actually a very good record, and I like that probably second after the first one. It's got some great production and Dreaming, Union City Blue. Yeah, there's some really great stuff on this. And again, I really like the production. It's really well produced. One of the fun things, about doing all this is going back and listening to the records again, which is great. I was also a collector of bootlegs in the old days. In fact, I used to sell bootlegs in high school and first year university. So a couple Blondie boots. This one's called Slow Motion. And this one, which I think might have been around the time of the Iggy Pop show, the set list looks like it. It looks like it's mostly, it was recorded in '76, so even before that Iggy Pop opening slot that they had. You know, one of the things about seeing Blondie that I remember was, of course, Debbie Harry, just beautiful, just a riveting lead person, and the way she would sort of bounce around. And she played, I think, different personas, and one of them I remember was referred to as Candy or something like that. But it's like a beach, like a beat, like, I don't really know. But had her hair back in a ponytail, and she just seemed really like innocent and cute and fun. And but the other part that really struck me about Blondie was Clem Burke's drumming. My God, he is such a powerful drummer, and I remember the whole drum kit bouncing the way he played. And of course, they're playing pop music, really. It's not so much rock, it's more pop. And the drum kit, when he played, he's just one of those drummers that, I don't know about you, but for drummers, I don't really notice the drummer in a band unless I really notice the drummer in a band. And there are a few, you know, bands where the drummers really stick out. I mean, Neil Peart for Rush, and there are definitely a few others. Clem Burke is like that for Blondie. Many of the other, like, you know, Chris Stein always kind of played at the back, playing guitar. Gary Valentine, Jimmy Destry, they're even Frankenfont, really kind of in the background. And certainly Blondie, Debbie Harry, as the face of Blondie, was front and center. But Clem Burke was the guts of the band, I think, really. His drumming is so on time, so powerful, and so perfect. He apparently was a big fan of Keith Moon's. But where I love Keith Moon and his kind of sloppy power, Clem Burke is just precise and powerful, just fantastic. So that's it for me, Blondie at the Elmocambo. So two parts, New York Comes to Toronto, the Ramones, and this one, Blondie at the Elmocambo, Carpe Diem. See you on the flip side.